Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the famous German pastor who was martyred under Adolf Hitler in World War II, said this. Okay, and I think he would know. I think he's qualified to speak. He gave his life, by the way, for preaching the gospel and standing against the Nazis in World War II. Here's what he said. He said, silence in the face of evil is evil itself. So God is looking for a man tonight in you, man. He's looking for a woman tonight in you. And don't think because you're a youth. Paul said to Timothy, don't let anybody despise you because you're young. Youth, you have a voice. And your voice is as loud and significant as our voice. Because you're around as many people or more than I am in a day. You go to school. You got all kind of people to talk to. Right? God says speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves. And I want to say this and then we're done. Okay, I'm done. And that is this. What does it say to the world? Hear me now. Hear the Father's heart, what I believe is the Father's heart. What does it say to the world? That our Father cares so little that he would muzzle his own children in bringing about his commandments in the earth and speaking up for justice and right. If I saw my daughter being harmed, what does it say of me as a father if I'm worried about offending the person who's hurting my daughter? And yet, we paint the picture as the passive church, the declawed lion church. And I'm not talking this church, this house, because we know better. I'm just encouraging you tonight, and I want you to see the issue that God's adjusting in a lot of the people in the church in this country. And there's a remnant in the earth. Right here, there's a remnant in every city in this great nation. There's a remnant all over this world who has not bowed their knee to Baal. And they will not. We will not compromise. In a culture of compromise, we will not compromise. But it's one thing to say, me and my house won't compromise. It's another thing to speak up and make your voice known for other people who have no voice and can say nothing to defend themselves. And so what does it say? That God has this heart. Read His Word. You want to know what's on His heart? Read His Word. Injustice angers Him. Hurting people who can't defend themselves anger Him. Shedding innocent blood, He hates it. And you know what the Psalm says? You who love God, you who cling to God, hate evil. You should hate it. And you can't compromise with something you hate. We've all hated something at one point, right? And for some of us, we had to allow the Lord to heal that because we were hating something that we needed to forgive, right? But you can't stand to be around something that you hate. So why do we tolerate wickedness? Why do we tolerate sin? I'm not talking about judgment on people who sin. I'm not talking about making mistakes. And there's healing and there's propitiation for that. For you and I both. And for everybody. It's not about hating the people. It's not about being vulgar. It's not about yelling and cursing and shouting at people. But listen, if God were to visit you, and you were to have a conversation over the last 6 months, and you were to sit down with your Father, who, by the way, equipped you and called you and ordained you and anointed you, if you were to have a conversation with Him, what could you say? What could I say? That I said, hey, Dad, you know what? I've been about your business. I've been about your business because I love you. I love you enough that I know your heart on this issue. So when I hear people say stuff about you that's not true and lie to a generation of kids about you, I got to say something about it. I've spoken up about it. I can't, God, I'm not responsible, Dad, for the outcome. That's your business. But what did Joshua say? You choose you this day whom you're going to serve. Whether the gods of the Amorites, right, in whose land you dwell, or the gods that your father served on the other side of the Jordan. But as for me, and as for my house. And what is your house today? Your house is everything. Your house is here right now. You know why? Because you're standing on it. You're here. And you're a kingdom authority. You are a spirit in a body. and you are a spirit of light and authority, and you have the identity, the imprint, and the fingerprint of your dad. And you know what you also have, whether you realize it or not? You got the fierce heart of your dad. He doesn't run from anything. He doesn't run from battle. We run to it. We run to the glory that is his to have by the victory. There is no glory without a battle. There's no victory without a fight. And listen, gone are the days where the church of the Lord Jesus Christ will compromise.